Sometimes I'm blown away at how handsome and sweet and beautiful you are. Let's stretch. Hello friends, today we are going to be doing some mindful static stretches. For those who don't know, for the uninitiated, stretching is a form of self-love. Let's talk about the two main types of stretching, static and dynamic. So mindful stretching, think regular stretching, but like a little mindfulness inside of it. One, the goal of stretching is to stretch, mobility, flexibility, all that good stuff, inflammation, avoiding injury, fantastic. But when we add some mindfulness into it, the goal enhances a little bit to increase your body awareness, get you focusing on your breath, what your body's actually doing, paying attention to how you're feeling, instead of just going through the motions. It's so easy for us to just keep going, bloop, 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 but never stop and say, okay, what is this? What muscle is pulling? How does this feel? Do I like that? What's going on? Okay, what's happening? We're paying attention to our mind. October, we're paying attention to our body, and we're paying attention to our breath. Dynamic stretching, which is what we did in this video, are movement-based stretches that you are going to do before your workout, before roller skating, to get your muscles nice and warm. You don't want to work out or do any type of physical activity with cold muscles, okay? We as adults get to a point in time where stretching has to happen. It is not an option. It is a requirement. That's what you hear so many times where someone's like, oh, I was playing with my kid and I pulled a muscle. That's because they were going at physical activity with cold muscles. It's not even because you're an old person or whatever. It's just because your muscles were like cold taffy and you did not warm them up before you started to stretch them out and something snapped. So, you know what's so crazy is I'm thinking about like PE class growing up, and I don't ever remember there being like an emphasis on stretching. It was just like, all right, go get this activity. You know what? I wonder how many people would enjoy working out more if they had had like a good foundation set for physical activity in school, in PE. I did not have that, which is a story for another time. Static stretching involves holding a specific stretch for an extended amount of time in a fixed position without movement. An easy way to remember this is dynamic is going to be before your workout, and then static is going to be after your workout. So dynamic warm up, static for cool down. I'm gonna give you a quick post roller skating meditation that you can do. Oh, but Deja, I don't know how to meditate. I've tried so many times and it just doesn't work for me. It's okay, it's all right. Here's the thing, when it comes to meditation, you're not gonna get to an arrival point. You just keep trying. If you are trying to meditate and you cannot clear your mind, that should tell you that you should keep trying to meditate. Eventually, if you keep working at it, it will become that much easier. With meditation, what you're doing is not judging your thoughts that are coming into your brain. You are simply observing them, thinking about them like clouds in the sky. You see a thought, you acknowledge it, you say, thank you for bringing this to my attention, and you let it go. And you just keep doing that. You keep pulling yourself back to being centered. You keep pulling yourself back. So a post roller skating meditation that we can do while we are stretching is going to be step one, find a comfortable place, a comfortable, chill place. One where you're not going to be disturbed for at least 15 to 20 minutes. The thing is this doesn't have to take a lot of time. It can be a quick hit. 15 to 20 minutes. You're just going to take a few deep breaths in and out, focusing on the sensation of the breath entering your body and leaving your body. Just take nice 5 deep breaths in and out, in and out. Okay, getting yourself centered and ready for this next thing. Mindfulness involves just being aware of the present moment, what I am feeling right now, what's happening. The act of meditation is, in a sense, maintaining mindfulness for an extended amount of time. So all you're going to be doing is focusing on what you're feeling right now. So if you're struggling, what you can do is you can take a couple minutes, almost like do like a brain thinking dump. I'm just gonna pour out everything that I'm thinking right now, all the things that are top of mind. Think about your skate session that you just finished. Were there some good points? Were there some sticky points? Did you become frustrated? What were you feeling? Think about that. Give yourself 2 minutes to just like download all of the things that keep running through your brain. Give yourself permission to think about these things. Think about them. And once you've thought about them, your complaints, all of the ugly parts, and this person pissed me off, I want you to next find gratitude. think about the positive aspects of your life right now in this moment. The fact that you were able to sit and watch this video means that there is some level of privilege happening in your life. And through that, if you pull on that thread, you can find something to be grateful for in this moment. Think of anything, be grateful for the joy of being active. This is an accomplishment. The fact that you're sitting down and stretching is an accomplishment because you're doing something that requires you to sit still. And in this busy world, you know how we go when we don't want to sit down and think, but you're doing that. You're thinking by choice, which is just like money. I want you to do this before you start stretching, if you have the time. If you don't have the time to do them before you start stretching, it's okay. Do them while you are stretching. Double dip, okay? Baby girl is a habit stacking mommy. I'm all about double dipping. If you don't have enough time beforehand, let's say you only have 15 minutes, you're like, Deja, I don't have 5 minutes to sit and just think. Complete those steps while you are stretching. So with that in mind, let's get some stretching in. We're gonna start with the quad stretch. And with your feet shoulder width apart, and then you're going to lean to one side, lift your quad and pull it towards your buttocks. Pull it towards your bum, just like that. Just pull it towards your booty. And we're just gonna hold this for 20 to 30 seconds and then switch sides. If it's too difficult for you to balance on one foot, place your hand on a wall, use that for balance, and then complete the stretch. We're just hanging out here. We're focusing on our breath. We're acknowledging our stress. We're thinking of all of the things, but we're not judging them. We're not attaching an outcome to them. We're just acknowledging them. Wow, that's something interesting that I'm thinking about. We're breathing deeply. We're practicing gratitude at the same time as us taking care of our body. All right, that's one quad stretch. The next one's gonna be the hamstring stretch. This is kind of a throwback to those PE classes. You're just gonna sit on your butt, okay? Sit on your bum. You might have to like scoot your booty forward. I don't know how else to describe that. Like you literally might have to just like scoot your booty forward, and that's actually gonna like make your hips kind of like roll down. So you're just gonna lean forward from the hips. Oh, you see the hammy? You see the hammy? Lean forward from the hips. And then touch your toes if you can't. If you cannot, touch your ankles, touch your knees. But you're just gonna lean forward. You're gonna hold this stretch 20 to 30 seconds as well. Again, deep breaths. Pay attention to where you feel your muscle pulling, tightness. Pay attention to what you are feeling. Be very aware and in this moment with yourself. You're taking the time to take care of yourself. Offer some gratitude to yourself for taking this time for yourself. The next one has a couple of different names. I've heard it called like a 4-figure stretch. I've heard it called so many things, but essentially what you're doing is you're taking your leg and you're pulling one foot to where it's touching the inside of your thigh, and you're just leaning over to touch your toes. Leaning forward from the hips to touch your toes, and you're gonna do the same thing. Hold this for 20 to 30 seconds before you switch sides. One of my favorites is the butterfly stretch. What you're gonna do is we're stretching our inner thighs. This one can be a little bit tough, so just make sure that you're focusing on your breathing, and we're just putting our feet together. Not quite crisscross applesauce, but in that same momentum, like butterfly wings, and we're just hanging out here. We're not rushing. If you need a little bit more of a challenge, you can do that same butt scoot that I told you to do earlier, and pull your hips forward, and then come down. And we're just gonna hold this stretch for 20 to 30 seconds as well. Noticing the sensation in your hips, noticing the sensation in your inner thighs, focusing on our breath, being very thankful to our body for doing the things that we ask it to do, being very, very, very grateful that we were able to wake up today and we were able to roll out of bed and we were able to move our body. So we're taking care of ourselves. We're acknowledging that this is difficult, and we are proud of ourselves for pulling it off. This one is quick and easy. It's a tricep stretch. You might think, oh, I'm not using my arms during roller skating, but you're using your body, okay, man? You're using your body. So we wanna make sure that we are feeling good. So we're gonna do a tricep stretch where we're literally gonna put our arm behind our head, and you can use your other hand to pull your arm to hold that stretch. 20 to 30 seconds on each side. As you're in this position, something that helps me kind of really just pull the stretch out is just imagining myself reaching towards the sky with my elbow, just getting a nice firm stretch, feeling the pull in my shoulders, feeling that release. One stretch that I really, really enjoy is called the dragon. You're gonna do this, oh, honey. Hello, October. You're gonna do this on both sides. You're gonna start on your knees, 1 foot down, and you're going to shift your weight forward and just rest here. You can do this for 20 to 30 seconds. I'd like to do this one for up to 2 minutes on each side. It's completely up to you to get my hips nice and open. If you can't go this deep, please don't feel like you have to. If you just want to stay up here and hang out, you can definitely do so. After holding this one, you can just transfer into the next one, which is the fragon, which is a floor dragon, and just lean down and hang out here. Take a rest. You worked so hard today. Just relax. And we're gonna make sure to do this on both sides. This one can be held 20 to 30 seconds up to 2 minutes based on how you are feeling. It's your show, baby. It's all about you. Let your head hang, let your thoughts flow. We're not assigning anything. If you're thinking about your to-do list, what you have to do, that's okay. It's not good or bad, it just is. It's something that has to be done, and we're breathing through it. All right, and last but certainly not least, this is my favorite stretch to do for roller skating because it attacks not only your hips, but it also attacks your ankles. You'd be surprised at how important your ankle mobility is for everything. What actually got me into roller skating is I twisted my ankle while I was trail running. And looking back now, I probably should have gone to the doctor because I heard like, and my ankle swelled up like 3 times its size. I had never been injured before, so I just like dealt with it. And eventually it stopped hurting, but it was achy for like months on end. It was very, very achy. This year, I downloaded this app called Pliability. I'll go ahead and drop it in the description box. It's fantastic if you want to do mobility work and you're not really sure about like where to start, definitely start with Pliability. But they have you do this mobility test, basically tests your range of motion. I did this test and it told me I needed to increase my ankle mobility, and I ignored it. 6 months later, I started feeling knee pain while I was skating. And originally I went to the doctor and they tried to tell me they couldn't find anything. They gave me a knee brace and some pills, and they were like, oh, okay, be on your merry way. But I was still feeling the pain with the knee brace. Turns out the pain in my knee was coming from poor ankle mobility. I was overcorrecting and it was causing misalignment here. So instead of taking the bottle of pills that the doctor gave me, I started doing ankle mobility specific stretches, and then my knee pain went away. So focus on, I'll say it again, stretching is a form of self-love. Last but certainly not least is the sumo stretch, which you're starting in your sumo stance. Your feet are a little bit wider than shoulder width apart. You can touch your toes and just rest right here in your sumo position. I like to use my arms to push my knees apart, but you're just hanging out here. You're opening up your hips. We're stretching our ankles. We're feeling good. Just rest here. We shouldn't feel any pain whatsoever. We're just taking our time and we're hanging out. You're like, Deja, I'm just chilling here. Are you sure I'm stretching? You're still working. You're still working right now. That's it. Stretching is a form of self-love. I would try to shoot to stretch at least 2 to 3 times per week for your static stretching, if possible. Sometimes you can only get 1 in. 1 is better than none. The cool thing about static stretches is they can actually be done while you're watching TV or doing something passive. You can easily grab your Kindle or your book or whatever and do static stretches. So there's honestly no excuse for why you can't get on your floor and stretch your body. I can't listen to your excuses, my love, because I want the best for you, okay? I want the best for you. And if you are an able-bodied individual and you are not taking the time to lay down on the floor and stretch, I'm gonna come for you. Do these stretches. It'll definitely help out with your recovery. It'll juice up your joints. Ultimately, it'll make you a better roller skater and athlete. Ask me how I know. October approves this message. Thank you so much. Happy skating, my loves, and I will see you in the next one.